Welcome to More Than Mindset, the only podcast that bridges the gap between spirituality and success. Go beyond the mind with clarity and confidence coach Kim Guillory and learn how to integrate your passion to serve with your skills and experience to create a business you love. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome back to the show. This is coming to you from hot Las Vegas. I am here for the week. I'm presenting at a conference, and that got me thinking about what I wanted to talk to you about today. So, making change easy. How'd you like that? If you could find out what is one thing that is absolutely necessary in order to make change easy, would you want to know what it is? Sit tight. I'm about to share it with you. So one thing that will never change is that we will always change. Everything in the world is constantly changing. Look at ourselves from birth. It is a constant evolution. And yet here we are resisting change. Like we believe there's one thing that's going to make everything certain. And if we can just grab onto that one thing, just hold tight, that we could be in control. But the truth is, this one thing I'm going to be talking about today is how you maintain control. And it's not what you think. So let's just start with, what do you want to change? Like when you look around your life, when you look in your bank account, in your relationship, in your body, maybe in your business, what do you want to change? Is everything great just like it is? And you're just like, I'm just going to keep rolling on maintenance. This is perfect. I doubt it, because we just don't think that way. So if I could help you be okay with change, actually welcome change, maybe even look forward to it, would you be interested in hearing more? Here we go. The necessary ingredient to make change easy is willingness. Willingness. Are you willing to experience change, never-ending change? Or are you going to resist changes happening? Like, look at how we hold on so tight to certainty of anything, but there's actually no certainty. We can't predict. We can create, but we actually can't predict because we can't control things outside of ourselves. The only thing that makes change easy is our willingness to allow and to accept change. It's a little mind bender, right? Make change easy. Now we're all sitting here saying, I want something to change. I want my body to look different. I want my partner to look different. I want my kids to act different. I want my clients to act differently. I want my business to be different. I want change. But do you know what that change is going to bring? Do you know what else it's going to change when you change? Because I think we often lose sight of that. I see my clients going through major transformation, major changes. And the thing that they can't predict is how that is going to impact their environment, other people and things. When we change, things begin to change around us. And that's a big part of why change is so hard. Because we can make that decision. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do to get it. This is who I'm going to be. And this is what I'm going to release. And I'm going to be willing to experience discomfort, because change requires discomfort. And so it is that willingness to feel all things that makes change easier. But when we change, if you think back to any time, maybe you lost 30 pounds, 50 pounds, maybe you changed your career, maybe you decided to quit being a people pleaser. When you made that decision to change, What else changed around you? The person you're in a relationship when you decided, I'm not people pleasing anymore. I'm not going to be codependent. I'm not going to be super nice. I'm not going to give you anything and everything you want. Like, I'm just going to stop doing that. When you changed, what else changed? You were willing to feel the discomfort, but you can't predict or dictate or control the environment and if they are willing. And I see so many people get hung up on this. They go for the change, but they don't realize the chaos, the havoc, the interruption that's going to happen in the exterior life, in the relationships. Like an example of this is kind of silly, but imagine you lost 50 pounds. Your wardrobe is going to change. You cannot control the clothes shrinking to fit you. Do you see what I'm saying? When you decide to change something and you are willing to go through that process, you have to also be willing to go through the discomfort of the things around you that will also change, but you can't control. So you can control in yourself. You can control the way you react or respond. You can control changing your wardrobe. You can control all aspects of it when it has to do with you. But what about the person who didn't want you to change? What about the household and the old contract or the rules or the way things used to be? What happens when they don't want to change? How about your bank account? When you choose to maybe quit the job and go and start your own business, but you're not making money yet. You used to be the breadwinner. You can be willing to feel that discomfort and those changes in yourself, but what about the others who were depending on that income? You can't control the way that they respond and react, the way that they behave, their emotions or their discomfort to the changes. And that is actually what I think makes change so hard. We can handle ourselves most of the time, but we get jacked up when it comes to how someone else feels or thinks about us. So the willingness to experience all emotions, to experience all reactions, the willingness to allow someone else to have their individual experience that you can't control, yet continue to control the way you react and respond. Man, this is tough, right? Like, have you thought about it this way? Can you see how change is so hard because it requires change in the environment, not just in yourself, and that's the part you can't control? So many of us backslide. We go back to what was comfortable for other people. And we get kind of jacked up when we don't realize what the problem is. Why am I not getting this? Why did I go back? And you thought you were coaching yourself or you were getting coaching and you had it all together. But you didn't realize how impactful other people's opinions, other people's reactions, the way that they respond to those changes actually impacts you. And listen, I'm not telling you to walk around and not give a squat about anybody. I mean, that's almost impossible for us, especially if you're listening to this. I know that you are heart-centered and you do care. And so we're not going to pretend like we don't care. That's never going to get us anywhere. But what we can do is control the response that happens in our body when someone else is having a reaction. This is next level, dude. So first, decide what the change is. What do you want to change? What do you want more or less of? What do you want to be bigger or smaller? And determine if that's possible. Look for evidence. Has someone else done it? Is there something in your life that you have done that you could bring those skills over and you could do this too? And then how do you need to show up, to behave, to respond, to react to the changes that you are going to create? The part of you that is going to experience that. So it's like the higher self or the higher version of yourself. What's her day in and day out going to look like? How is she going to show up? What is she or he going to do? And then the next thing, what will you lose? Will it be someone else's respect? Their opinions? Will you not try to fix them? What are you going to lose? What are you going to do different? What are you going to give up? Because there will be something. And for this exercise, maybe it's making a list of all the things around you that are going to change when you change this thing. So start with just one project. Let's just imagine you're going to change something in the kitchen. You're going to paint the kitchen. And you're like, oh my God, it's going to be so pretty. I'm so excited. I'm willing to like deal with the mess. And then when you start going through the process, you realize how many other people are involved. Oh my God, we have to eat in there every single day. I didn't realize like the kids are going to be mad. The husband or the wife or the partner or the contractor, like it's going to involve so many other people. And your willingness to experience this is not quite the same as someone else's. So let's imagine you got it together and you're feeling it and you're uncomfortable and you're like, you know what, it's going to be worth it because in 3 months, this is going to all be done and we're going to be so excited that we did it. But yet here's the other person that is just in a terrible mood. And they're creating all kind of chaos and havoc. And you are so uncomfortable because you cannot control them. So if you can take yourself all the way there, you'll actually experience what I'm talking about. So let's just imagine you are there and everyone else in the house is like angry. They hate the color. They can't fix their own dinner because everything's been moved out of the kitchen. Everyone's in a bad mood. In that moment, what can you control? Do you have the willingness to feel the discomfort of not pleasing someone else or not being able to fix someone else or not predicting or controlling the way that they react or respond? Guys, if you can get this, your willingness to change will vastly increase and you will get more of what you want because it's not going to be so much of a surprise anymore because you've mapped it out, you've planned for it. And you know what you're going to have to cut away. You know what you're going to have to deal with. You know who you're going to be. So you are prepared. And that is how you can stay in control and keep working towards what you are creating consciously. All right. So just going to do a little quick review. The recipe or the ingredient in the recipe that is required to change is willingness. Are you willing to accept all moving parts? Because when you change that one thing, everything else that's connected to the way that it was is going to shift. And if you want to stay in control, you don't want to keep putting on the brakes, stopping, backsliding. If you want to stay in control, just recognize everyone and everything it's going to impact. Write it down, map it out, have conversations with these people, have conversations with yourself, and stay willing. Don't try to run from it. Don't shut it down. Don't hide it. Don't pretend it isn't so unless that's the only way. You actually can pretend. But what if you didn't have to? What if you were just willing to feel all of the emotions that came with it? And also the fact that you can't control everything else. You can only control what's going on within yourself and what you are creating and what you are experiencing. All right. Let me know how it goes. And if you are willing to try the experiment, to plan ahead, to work out the best case scenario by just being willing to experience without fixing or changing or even trying to control what someone else is experiencing while you're going through the change. Have an amazing week, my friends.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than Mindset.